Welcome to Maple Leaf America at the NHL All-Star Game. Very excited to be here outside of Fort Lauderdale, where we have a media day going on right now with all the players. Looking forward to talking to Eddie Belfour. Oh wait, oh no, that's right, he's not here. He has the knee, ankle, waist, shoulder, neck problem. Matt Sundin, oh no, he's not here either. He's got that same deal going on with the injury, the elbow, Adam's apple, shoulder, wrist thing. Well, you know what? Since none of those guys are going to be here wearing a Leafs jersey this week, we're not going to wear ours either. But we have planned on this for a while, so we are going to bring you a show, so stay tuned. All-Star activities coming up next on Maple Leaf America. Welcome back to Maple Leaf America, the All-Star Game in Florida, and joined by three-time All-Star Roman Hamrlik, who is now playing with the New York Islanders. Ooh, the Islanders, the Leafs, big rivalry. Absolutely. Obviously, we had big rivalry last year against you guys, and that's too bad we didn't beat you. But we still hope we're gonna make the playoffs this year, and you never know what's gonna happen. We can still play against you guys, and it's gonna be big payback. Congratulations on your third All-Star game. What do you think? I'm pretty exciting. I mean, it's always fun, and always see my good friends here, and obviously. I hope I'm not gonna do the fastest skater out there, just probably to shoot and hit the net. But I'm looking forward to. Your agent is a former Leafs goaltender, Jiri Crha. You want to talk about him a little bit? I know he played in Toronto, so obviously he was goalie, and he's doing my contracts, and obviously he's a good man. Yeah. Ever just had him throw the pads on and fired some shots at him for fun? No, I haven't done that, but I was thinking about it some summer, doing it, some stuff like that. All right, let's take a little closer look at Roman's agent, Jiri Crha.
Down goes Eves, closing in, centered one, and Crha comes up with a big save off Kristoff.
How soon we forget what life was like before the fall of the Berlin Wall and the Iron Curtain. Former Leafs goalie Jiri Crha is here to remind us. He was the first goalie to defect from Czechoslovakia in 1979 to play hockey in the NHL.
It's much easier now for them to go and play here because they know they can go anytime back. I didn't know that. When I defect, I know it's over. I left my family there, but it was my dream, and I paid the price for that. But you know, I think it was the right way to do it because you know, even I played just a little bit National Hockey League. It's still, for me, it's the best memory in my life probably. That the Maple Leafs, they gave me a chance to play a few games there.
Here's Sanusi all alone. Oh, and Crha played him beautifully, and he had no place to go. Now Schmier, and Crha grabs that and hangs up.
Give you telephone number if you want.
Crha has continued to blaze trails as a player agent for European stars from the Czech and Slovak republics.
Jiri is easy to talk to. You know, he's a really calm guy, really slow talking, and he's a really nice guy. I mean, he was a goalie.
Good agent, getting the job done.
I think so. You know, I'm really happy. You know, he worked for me. You know, I have him. You know, and we got a really good relationship between us.
I don't know. I used to live in a communist country, and there was a little funny regime, but everybody had same salaries, and everything was run differently. You know, I think that this is a free enterprises here, and if somebody's owning the club, he should know what he can spend, and if he wants to spend for a player 15 million because he knows that this player will help him to bring the Stanley Cup and he will do still good business with him, I think this is the way to do it. That's my feeling.
Player agents obviously want what's best for player profitability. When skaters make money, agents make a percentage. And Crha has a stable of talented NHLers. Hossa and Radek Bonk of Ottawa, Hamrlik of Tampa Bay, Martin Skula of Colorado, and Jiri Fisher of Detroit, just to name a few.
I received that from Jiri Fisher. he gave me that right away when they win the cup. The cup was all wet from the champagne, you know. And well, it will stay here forever. It was a great present. I really like it.
With so much European talent flooding the NHL recently, many of the best from his home hockey nation, Crha is in an enviable position.
Yeah, I think so. Especially like I'm working with my brother. He lives in Czech Republic still. He was a hockey player. He's scouting there for me, like a full-time scout. And he got a good eye. We were very lucky with some young boys. When we find them, we just believe that they got the skills and ability to be NHLers, but you know, you never know. And it's nice to see some young boys when you sign a 16-year-old boy, and one day you see him like a star in NHL. It's great, you know.
Crha was a 29-year-old man when he arrived in Toronto.
For me, it was incredible experience. I just like I knew that Canada is hockey. I knew that, but I never imagined how many people, regular people, are involved, and how many people really understand hockey in Toronto. It's a really, I think it's hockey capital. You know, like you walk, and even now I'm going there, and I'm not no hockey player. I played just a little bit, and people, they still remember my name. I go through customs, and guy who is looking at my pass, he said, "You play in the Leafs a long time ago." You know, which is incredible. That's why I think it's for players. It's amazing if any player can play with this organization. They get the feeling, the pressure feeling from media, from all the fans, and from you pushing yourself for maximum for the level. I just wish that everything will continue and they will win the cup very soon.
That's right, Crha still pulls for the Leafs when he's not rooting for his clients. Jiri, shown here with daughter/secretary Martina, also is rooting for a new collective bargaining agreement before the current deal expires in 2004. The last thing he wants to see is an owner lockout.
I'm a little confused because I don't know. I see that they signing still big deals, like big money and long-term deals, and I feel that there is still some place for even for improvement for salaries. I think that it's like any other business. You have to do. You have to know the budget, what you got, and what you can sign and what you cannot. But that's all. I don't feel like because Ottawa or Buffalo they are in trouble now. I don't feel that the players they really they can do something about it. I don't think it's a foul from the player side.
Ironically, none of Crha's clients are goaltenders, nor did he ever get the chance to represent the NHL's most famous Czech import, Dominik Hasek.
He actually just released the book Home in Czech, and funny because he mentioned my name. I'm thankful for that. But this is actually Martina, small Martina, when we defect.
Hasek, as a 16-year-old, actually gained the opportunity to play net in the Czech Elite League because Crha had defected. Crha and Hasek shared the butterfly style of net minding, not commonplace 25 years ago.
The funny thing is that, sometimes when I play butterfly 20 years ago, some maybe coaches, they didn't like that. Fortunately, Johnny Bauer was there before, excellent goaltender and everything, and he played more stand-up style and everything. When I came there, maybe I went down too much, and he corrected me in this case because it was very unusual back then.
A lot of things have changed since Crha snuck across the pond, and fortunately for him, pretty much everything has changed for the better.
This is Zanuzzi going in with Christoph, and it stopped. A rebound! on the goal line. It did not go in.
Jiri Crha, goaltender back in about 1980 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Remember that name, captain of the New Jersey Devils, Scott Stevens?
Yeah, I remember the name. I remember a lot of Leaf names. I was definitely a big fan, so I remember everybody.
Yep. What was that relationship like with the Leafs as a kid? Just loved going to the Gardens or just adored all that?
Well, I really didn't get there that much. I think I got there once. I was very fortunate, but always watched on TV and always listened to them on the radio.
Talk a little bit about your durability over the years. Quite a few years in the league and obviously an all-star.
Well, I guess taking care of yourself, staying in good shape, that's a big part of it, and staying healthy. And I've been fortunate to have my health, and that's a big part of playing a long time in the NHL.
Hit them before they hit you?
That too, but it's I guess I'm being a physical player. I'm kind of used to that, so I guess my body's ready for that and can withstand that, and that's probably helped also.
A lot of talk about the Devils not scoring goals this year, but obviously a team you never count out.
No, you don't have to score a lot of goals to win. You just need one more than the other guys. So we've had a lot of low-scoring games, but we've won a lot of those games, whether it's 1-0 or 2-1. And lately we're starting to score a few more goals, which is nice. But we can still go back to the old style and shut teams down if we have to.
Did you have a favorite Leafs player or a hero growing up?
Oh yeah, definitely Daryl Sittler and Borje Salming. I really like those two players.
Well, we've been asking guys those questions about Leafs and growing up and all that for about the last year and a half, and we're going to ask about 3 or 4 more All-Stars that same question.
Definitely. I mean, if you're not a Leafs fan from around that area, you're going to have a tough night at going out there. But, I grew up a Leafs fan, and to go back there and play is still a privilege.
Particular hero or any guys?
I don't know. Actually, my father was more of a Canadians fan, so he was big on Larry Robinson, was big around. But Borje Salming is a defenseman. Borje Salming, Daryl Sittler for sure. Mike Palmatier, I remember. Had some good times watching there.
Do you recall feelings on your first trip into the Gardens?
Actually, my first trip to the Garden was playing there. Actually, I never went to see a game when I was a kid, but I remember going in there. A lot of family it come down for that game, and then having to play them in '93 in the semifinals too. So
I watch Toronto every Saturday night. Toronto's on TV. Of course, I watched the Maple Leafs growing up, and Alan Besser with those glove stays he made. I was out in my backyard. I was about as tall as him when I was that young too, so I think the correlation was a lot stronger. But I think my dad was a Red Wings fan, and I certainly paid attention to both the Red Wings, and they were just as close as Toronto. But when I got a little bit older and had a mind of my own, for whatever reason, maybe it was the back-to-back coast-to-coast game CBC was doing, Canucks were my team. This was when I was a teenager, and Kirk McLean, what a great couple of years he had there, and they went to the Cup Finals. And, another Canadian team. I think it was the ugly jerseys that drew me to them. I don't know what it was, but Kirk McLean and the rookie years for Linden and Bure, they're having fun years, and it was a fun team to watch and a special time when they played the Rangers. So Toronto, I probably idolized the most. I played a lot with Borje Salming and those guys when I was younger, but my favorite team ended up being Vancouver in the end.
Unfortunately, I was a Leafs fan. Now I look back, I don't like to admit that, but I was a big Wendell Clark fan growing up, and I still like to follow the Leafs.
Kind of rough clubs though, in terms of overall.
Yeah, they weren't the best of clubs, but Leafs fans are diehards, and they'll accept anything. So it's I was a big fan.
Still got to be cool going back there and playing another jersey.
It is extra special, just playing in obviously the ACC, and I had a chance to play in the Garden, but it's nice to see my family and friends all drive up to the game, and it's it's extra special when you play there.
Last year in LA, I noticed that you're kind of bright-eyed. Still a little bit of that?
Oh yeah, I'm still like a kid in the candy store here. I'm having a lot of fun and just meeting different guys. It's going to be a good weekend for me.
Yeah, I'm a Leafs fan. Growing up in Sudbury, I've watched the Leafs growing up from the days when Nicholas Borcheski scored the goal in Detroit, and big Wendell Clark fan. So yeah, I'm a Leafs fan. Yeah. Oh, I was.
You were.
Yeah.
Beside any heroes, you mentioned Wendell Clark, but anybody else that stood out when you were a kid?
More from the West, and Gretzky, and back to the East, and Mario. I think those guys are guys that I always wanted to play like, and guys that I've always watched. So probably those two.
And if you can remember your feelings the first time you played in Toronto as a professional.
Oh, wasn't that good? It was good at the start, and then I got benched for the last 2 periods. So it started out good and turned out bad. But no, I've had better memories the past couple of years going in there.
But it's still a thrill to be in there and actually going home. And there's probably a lot of people watching when that happened to you.
Oh, I love going in there and playing in Toronto. It's a great atmosphere there, and it's a great hockey city. And I got a handful of buddies that play in Toronto. Enjoy the experience out there, and yeah, it's always fun going back playing there.
How many family and friends were in the building when you got benched for the last 2 periods?
I had a lot. It was the first game in Toronto, and I had a handful there for sure. And it's quite disappointing, but that's okay.
Much more ahead on this all-star edition of Maple Leaf America from the very large and lovely Office Depot Center here in Sunrise, Florida. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Andy from Brampton, Ontario, and my favorite Leaf is Rick Vive, and I just want to say hi to all my friends and family back in Brampton.
My name is Dennis. I'm from Georgetown, Ontario. Favorite all-time Leaf, Todd Gill, and I'd like to say hi to my kids, Michael and Lauren.
Todd Gill!
Todd Gill! Todd Gill, rules!
Welcome back to Maple Leaf America, about 20 miles west of Miami at the Sawgrass Recreational Park. With my friend here, No Name. They don't give them names because they don't want people to think they're pets. They're not pets, they are wild animals. This one has a piece of tape around its mouth so that Dave doesn't lose a finger. He's a great guy. We're going to learn all about him. Watch. The alligator, synonymous with Florida and the Everglades. The Sawgrass Recreation Park allows visitors to see the gators and their environment up close, in more ways than one. The Seminole Indians called it Pahaoki, or River of Grass. The Everglades is indeed that, a river moving very, very slowly from its source at Lake Okeechobee down to the mangroves near the Gulf of Mexico.
The Everglades is a very pristine area. It's a very beautiful area, and it has to be preserved mainly because it is South Florida's only freshwater drinking supply. That's what it means to us. It is a nature preserve as well as our freshwater drinking supply.
And considering 3,000 people a day move into the state of Florida, the Sunshine State's greatest natural resource and North America's only subtropical preserve is under constant attack.
Humans are destroying the Everglades, but that's not just the Everglades, that's the earth. Everything that we touch, we destroy.
Housing developments, chemical runoff from farms and ranches, and pollution from sugarcane production are among the biggest culprits. The Everglades is already only half of its original size. With the shrinking habitat, native plants and animals are also in danger. Although South Florida's most famous resident, the alligator, is flourishing.
They were poached to the brink of extinction. And actually, in the end, believe it or not, alligator farming is what saved the American alligator. Once they started raising them on the farms for their meat, their hides, their heads, it flooded the market, made it to where the poachers couldn't make a living in it any longer, and allowed the wild alligators to make a comeback.
Today, human interaction with gators in the wild is rare.
Jumped up on the edge of the boat and wiggled his way in, got caught between 2 rows of seats. Just a small one, he was only about 5 foot. So we were able to get him out with a little struggle.
Attacks on humans are even more rare. Like any wild animal, gators will keep the peace unless provoked.
We always blame the animal. It's always the animal's fault. If you look at the actual facts, you'll find most of the time if the person wasn't messing with the animal, he wouldn't have been bitten in the first place. As a matter of fact, alligators are naturally afraid of people. The problem is you feed them and they lose that fear. It's much easier for that free handout than it is to hunt for their food, so they grow dependent upon humans. And that doesn't mean that they're going to run up and attack you, but what it does mean, and I hate to say this, he will allow stupid people to do stupid things.
And so often, reputation precedes reality.
The Florida Panthers aren't all you all have to worry about when you come to Florida.
Well, remember that little guy we showed you at the beginning of the segment? He's been bulking up, lifting weights, taking steroids. I thought steroids were illegal.
In hockey.
Oh, that's right. Well, these guys, look at this thing. Holy moly. This much of his tail weighs more than the entire first little guy we
Right.
saw.
They're very, an alligator's 52% muscle, so muscle's the heaviest part of the body. They say a very dense, very powerful animal, and fortunately for us, very easy going.
I like him. Thanks, Cliff.
All right, guy. Enjoy yourself.
Fun business. More fun business when we come back. Well, we close out this year's special All-Star edition of Maple Leaf America with the head honcho, the big boss, the president of the Leafs, Ken Dryden. How are you? What'd you think of that game?
It was a good game. It would have been a little better with a few Leaf players, but for an All-Star game, it was very good. In the end of it, the players realized there was something on the line. The pace picked up, the mood changed. It got exciting.
Proponents of a shootout will be bustling right now, or talking about it again.
Well, 4-on-4 was pretty great, and the shootout is a nice way to end it ultimately. I mean, there's no better way of ending it than an indefinite overtime as there is in the NHL playoffs. But short of that, the shootout can be kind of fun.
It's a big honor talking to you, not just because you're a Hall of Fame hockey player, but also a scholar. I went to Central Michigan and studied beer, and you went to an Ivy League school and became an attorney. And also an All-America goalie at Cornell, right? What do you remember from those years? Fondly, I imagine?
Very fondly. Those were great years. We had very good teams there. We won one NCAA title. And I think anybody's college years are very fondly remembered.
Yeah. Good trivia answer, actually. Ken Dryden was the color commentator with Al Michaels' the 80 Miracle of Ice. We've got that all came rushing back to us last year on the anniversary.
Well, an even better trivia question is that after Al Michaels said, "Do you believe in miracles?" and after he said yes, what did I say?
I just saw it the other day, too. I can't believe it, or something? No.
Well, you're close. You would have had it the first time. Unbelievable. I mean, that's really short, pithy, brilliant, and none of the above.
So you're good at this TV stuff. You should have kept this going. Eh? It's been since '88 since you were a commentator. Did you have a hero growing up, and was it a Leaf by any chance? I mean, I know you played for the Canadians, but growing up, who's your guy?
Well, I hated the Canadians growing up. And I like the Leafs, and I also like Boston. And I love goalies, and probably my favorite goalie is Glenn Hall.
Cool. Well, thank you, boss. Appreciate it. Okay. Next week, we're back in Florida doing another show. We're going to check out the Tampa Bay Lightning franchise. I'm going to go swimming with mermaids.
You're staying down?
Yeah, we're shooting a little bit more.
Pretty good deal you've got.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm not paid a whole lot, but just kidding. Can we get, just for fun, as we say goodbye for this show, to give me your...
Well, you can probably wave with both hands.
No, I mean, can you just with me do a mock stick lean?
Oh,
remember the mock stick? You used to lean on your stick?
Right.
See if you can...
Something like that. Two of us together.
There you go.